Going live. Good morning. Good morning. I should say good afternoon. I'm so used to doing shows in the morning. Hi, everyone. This is Cathy Derksen, and this is Cathy Derksen from Inspired Tenacity. I don't know if any of you know her, and I'm sure you probably do on Facebook. She is actually a creator of and publisher of books that are bestsellers. And today we're going to be talking about a project that we have that's known as Resilient Widows. And these resilient widows are ones like myself. First off, I'm going to go with me on this for a second. Resilient widows like myself, I have been a widow for 13 years. And during that time, I have gone through so many changes and so many stages that it became very clear that what I wanted to do was be able to tell my story. So I had gotten involved with Cathy I think it was about, oh God, maybe even a year ago. And she did co-authoring, or she brought in people that would co-author books and with different subjects. So the subject she had was midlife awakening. As a matter of fact, here's the book. I don't want you to have and it's backwards, but anyway, it's a midlife awakening. And that particular book, I wrote my story from the time that I met my husband and when we got married. And then after he died, what happened and how I was able to make it through the rain. So after we did that book, which by the way became a #1 international bestseller, Cathy contacted me, and that's when we got together. And Cathy said, "Hey, maybe we should do a Resilient Widows book collaboratively, particularly because we have the Golden Life community." And this is where many of our members or many of our fans are widows. And then in addition to that, we have our Dog Connection show, which on the Dog Connection show, you probably don't realize it, but almost 87% of our fans are women over 55 who love animals. And out of those 87%, 48% of them are widows. So we decided that it would be a real collaborative effort. So Cathy, I'm going to let you talk about what you have put together and how you have created. Let me see here. What I've got is got a picture. What Cathy does is she creates. She's is a publisher with Action Takers Publishing, and she'll explain how this works. And she actually takes everything, all the co-authors together, and she brings them to the point where they are now authors and they can feel good about themselves. So you might want to talk about, Cathy, why you started doing this.
Yes. The big picture of the work that I do is really around creating that platform for women to share their stories, share their voice. And I just find that it supports the reader and the community so much as we hear each other's stories. And it gives us that inspiration to take on challenges. It gives us that permission to take things on ourselves. And so I really find that the book projects are an amazing way to amplify both the authors that get into the books, but then also their community that they're supporting. And so, as Cathy was saying, I've had a few different projects in the past. And so things like Embrace Courage, Midlife Awakening, the one we just saw was Women Transforming the Landscape of Science and Tech. So I look for themes and ideas, stories that really have that need to be shared. And when Cathy shared her story in the Midlife Awakening book, and we also had another woman in the group who was also a widow, and just listening to their stories and listening about just what that journey had been to suddenly be on your own and having to go through grief, but then also figuring out life and how you're going to do it next. And what is that next thing even going to look like? And in many cases, becoming a widow, there's no warning. And you're just suddenly out there having to reinvent yourself. And as we were talking about it in that book, it really occurred to me that it would be a beautiful way to support other widows by creating this book. So that's when Cathy and I got talking about the idea. And I think this community, especially, is the perfect opportunity to bring this and to support the community as a group, but then also each individual author. And as Cathy was saying, how this works is that women jump into the program with us. I support them through getting their chapters together. Generally speaking, the chapters are 2,000 words. It's a combination of your story, your journey, and also your words of wisdom and tools and strategies of how did you get through big obstacles and how would you encourage others to take on similar challenges. And so that's kind of what the chapters look like. So I support them through that first part of getting the chapters ready, going through different drafts. We meet together as a group on Zoom so the authors can get to know each other. We have a chat group as well where they can meet each other and connect with other women that they could be supporting and are following a similar thing. And then what we do is we work with Action Takers Publishing. They do all of the back end of publishing, formatting the books, all the professional editing that gets done. They get us onto Amazon. They create all kinds of different marketing materials. You saw a piece there that Cathy put up for one of my previous books. So we create both a group marketing materials, but then also each individual author will have their own posting and marketing materials created. And so as a team, we are promoting the book, promoting what we're working on, and then we take the whole thing through an Amazon bestseller launch. And what that generally looks like is building a lot of activity on that one day, getting people to come in, buy the book on Amazon. And as we get into those categories and we hit our #1 international best-selling status, then of course we have a celebration because it's always an amazing thing to have people step into that. And now all of those authors that is a title that they have now earned, is that they are an international best-selling author. And for so many of us, that whole goal of being a published author is something that's kind of been in the distance and something that we would love to do, but how do I even get started? So books like this are the perfect opportunity to get started as an author, as a published author, stepping into those different areas. One of the things I love about these projects as well is that they open doors that you didn't even know were there, that bring opportunities for doing more public speaking opportunities, getting on podcasts, jumping into other book projects as well. And especially with this project focus on widows, I really see a lot of potential collaborations coming out of it, how women will connect with each other, hearing each other's stories, getting to know others that they really connect with. I'm guessing that there will be more to come, and I think this community is, again, a perfect opportunity for this. So I know Cathy's excited to get it started, and I'm excited for us to be working together on this.
Oh, gosh, I really am too. And the truth really is, all of the widow books that I've read or the videos or the TV programs I see, it's always about doom and gloom. It's always about how she's been hurt. I mean, I can tell you stories over and over again how your life changes when you're a widow, and immediately you lose your friends, and your family looks at you differently, and nobody knows how to talk to a widow. They don't know how to say I'm sorry or whatever, and it's not their fault, but they don't know what words to say. So what generally happens is you have to say to them, it's okay to hug me. It's okay. It's all right. And it's okay to cry. It's okay for me to grieve. What usually happens after a period of time, like in my case, I'm still celebrating my husband after 13 years. About 8 years ago, people were saying to me, oh, he's already dead. Let him go. Let him go. Well, I don't want to. I don't want to. So what I thought was interesting about doing this book was about teaching people, not teaching people, but letting people know what it's like for the widow on our end. What do we feel and how do we feel about how other people are talking to us? Because we're, for some reason, we become invisible. Nobody wants to invite us to parties. Nobody wants to have us around anymore. And all of a sudden, here we are. We don't know what to do. And in addition to that, there's all these stages that you go through, stages with anger and grief and all of that. We all know what those stages are, but what do you do about them? What do you do? How do you make it through the rain? What are the fun things you get to do? And I'm not talking about, meeting someone new or all that. I'm talking about the first time you go to a restaurant alone, the first time you realize that you are now a widow. The word widow, I don't know why they use that word. It's like a spider. To me, it's like a black spider. We're not we're not widows. We're I don't know. We should come up with a new word for widows, don't you think, Kath?
Maybe that's the next part of the project. What's
Yeah,
another word we can use?
yeah, right. For widows or widower or widowed. Widowed is I don't know. Somebody should look up the definition. As a matter of fact, when I had posted some videos on TikTok and I put in resilient widow, they chose to put me in the category with Black Widow.
Oh,
So I had to go and I thought, how do I change this around? Really interesting, right? Yeah. So
because they just choose a word and they stick the words
right,
together.
right. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, I did this one graphic I'm going to show you here, and it just says, he just died, now what? And that's really where it all starts, ladies, girls, goldens. This is where it all starts. You look and you think, oh my God, he just died. I knew he was going to. He was sick for a long time, or he just passed away, or he was killed in an accident, or it could be she, could be your significant other, whatever. Your spouse has died, and now here you are. What happens now? What do I do? And a numbness comes over you, and that numbness leads to doing nothing because you're not prepared. I thought I was prepared when my husband passed away, and I didn't cry at the moment. My brother-in-law came and stayed with me. I stayed up all night long and I didn't break down, and I'm thinking, is there something wrong with me? Why am I not why am I not reacting to this? And then all of a sudden it was when we had to make some decisions, when I had to go and see my doctor to get the death certificate and stuff. And then it was reality set in and I could not stop crying. And these are the stories that we all want to tell and we want other people to know about. But wouldn't it be exciting to do a book that brings all the women together, 25 of them, really, 25 of you, that come together and we collaborate together about what kind of chapters do we want? How do we want this story to go? And I might add that through the kindness of Cathy, we have now we're opening up the worldwide Golden Connections, which is launching the middle part of October. It's a membership platform, and within that membership platform, we will have an area where we will have co-authors that are developing books together that relate to the golden life, about what it's like to be over 55 and getting older and picking yourself back up, putting your big girl panties on and deciding that now you want to be able to get back to work, ignite your passions, have your purpose, and dust yourself off instead of sitting back and saying, oh my God, I'm too old to do this, or this hurts, or that hurts. As you can see, I have a cannula. I have a severe stage COPD. I have congestive heart failure. I put on 20 pounds from the medication I'm on. but I'm always in a good mood. And I had a diagnosis last year that had me. They thought I was going to die, and I was ready. Okay, let's go. And then I thought, wait a minute, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I have a lot left here, and I have a lot of stories to tell. And that's why it became almost imperative that I had to get the story out right away. I got to get it out now because for some reason I feel like I'm on borrowed time. But at the same time, when you get a diagnosis where they tell you that it's end of life, trust me when I say it now gives you a license to say whatever the hell you want at any time, at any time. And I wear that badge proudly because now I can say exactly like it is, and my transparency has become just wonderful. So, Cathy, when you started developing these books, I know you had a process that you went through, and I had put down some of the banners, and you had given it to me, and one of them is that the first part of the book stages. You went over it briefly, but just for the audience to get a little more of a clarification, you invite 20 to 25 women and they register to participate, and there's a link in the description of this broadcast, so you can link to it to find out more about what it is. And then they're writing the chapters. They takes place individually as well as group Zoom meetings, like you said. I know I'm reiterating what you said. Just wanted to go now. When you do the draft, I can say that when I did my draft, um, I immediately called Cathy and said, I don't think I like it. I want to redo it. And that's okay. So you don't have to think that because you're putting your story in, that it's carved in stone. You can change things around, you can edit, you can add, and Cathy is excellent at identifying, well, did you really want to say this? Maybe you want to say it this way. So she helps, and she's almost like a coach, a writing coach, to help you through it. So you're not on your own. She's there to help you, and this is a good thing. And I've written many articles, but I've never collaborated with a book. And there has to be the flow to the book, and there has to be some rhyme and reason to it. So, and then in addition to that, I like the idea that now I'm an Amazon author. I like that. So that's another badge I like to wear proudly, and you will be too. So if any of you are interested, of course, like I said, you can uh, go ahead with that. And then there's the marketing team. They create the personalized graphics. As a matter of fact, here, like this graphic, this is temporary in terms of the graphic of the book, but there's other graphics that enter into it too. We have this graphic. And let me see where, I think that's it that I put up right now. Oh, and then we have this graphic. And so we put up a number of different graphics, and we do a number of different things. And also we'll be doing some broadcasting about what Resilient Widows is about. So we've created some, let me see, I did this video, this little. And that's nice. The point is that you will have some marketing in the background, live shows, podcasts, things that will be, and you'll be invited on to talk about your part in the broadcast. And it actually becomes like a wonderful project, collaborative project that you can be proud of in the future. So, anyway, I guess that's really about it, Cathy. I know that you've got some other projects too, you mentioned, and the other projects are Women Transforming Leadership in Business and Community, the evolution of leadership in STEM, women catalyzing change, ripple effect of impact, the many layers and shades of grief. So if any of those are of interest to you too, you can also reach out to Cathy if you're not a widow and you would like to participate in one of these. So closing statements, Cathy, what would you like to say?
Well, one thing I just want to reassure everyone, you don't need to be a seasoned author. You don't need to be someone who already does a lot of podcasting and social media. Those things are not necessary. What's necessary is that you feel a calling to share your story, to share the journey you've been on with that goal of helping the next women coming up behind you that are dealing with similar things. And as we've mentioned too, that idea that we're collaborating, we're working together, we're building connections, and it's a wonderful way to build your community.
Yes, right. Okay, everyone. Well, this was a short video, but we're going to do some other live shows very shortly, and we'll continue to do them. For those of you that are not on in our Worldwide Golden Connections, we do have a group on Facebook right now that you can go to. I'll put a link in there, and this is a private group. This is in our Golden Life, the Golden Life community, one of the groups there, and that's the stepping stone before we go into our official platform. And by the way, it has been quite a challenge to put together a worldwide golden community or membership. This membership is so dynamic and will be so filled with so many fun things, and you don't have to worry. There will be some complimentary memberships for everyone. So the way we're designing it is we want women to come in and realize that they'll be given a golden gift of the membership. So that's a wonderful thing. So okay, everyone, we ask you to join together, hug each other, know that you are worthy, that we see you, you do matter, and we definitely want you to be able to be part of our family. Okay, well, Cathy, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on board, and thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay.